Hey, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tiff, and today I'm going to be doing the top 10 books that I read in 2024. I read 54 to 60 books last year. I don't really remember the exact number, so we'll just go through my top 10 starting at 10, which is Dotted Lines by Devney Perry. So this is number 5 in the Runaway series, which is about a group of friends that their last years of teenage life, they were living in a junkyard for various reasons. And this is the last one of the series where um, Clara and Carson kind of meet up. So Clara and Carson kind of had one night together at the junkyard before kind of everyone left the junkyard kind of for good. And she is going to go back to California and Carson to kind of see if their love is still there. I really love this series. It was just kind of, I listened to it on audio and it was just so fun to kind of see everyone's perspectives. And then with the fifth one in the series, kind of everybody's love life kind of wrapped up. So it was just a really fun read. And Devney Perry is one of my top authors. And then number 9 is also by Devney Perry, and it is Sunlight, which is the number 2 in the River Ranch series. So this one is about Sasha and Jax, and they actually meet when Sasha's kind of in a tug of war with a grocery cart. And Jax doesn't know that he is meeting one of the new employees at the ranch. He is owner, but he's not the boss. So he's part owner. Um, and this kind of leads to one thing to another, which leads to a night, which leads to a surprise pregnancy. Um, I actually have started to enjoy the surprise pregnancy trope. So this one was really fun to read. And I just love a small town romance. I really do. It's probably one of my favorites, which there's several in this list. And then number 8 is a thriller. It's That's Not My Name by Megan Lally. So this is about a teen that wakes up on the side of the road, no memory whatsoever, and she actually ends up getting saved, I guess, by a cop, and they go back to the police station. And then a man comes in looking for his missing daughter, and he has, birth certificate photos and things like that. So the police let him take this girl, because assuming that that's his daughter. And then on the other side, Lola and Drew are dating. They had like a little fight in the car. She gets out, slams the door, walks away, never seen again. And the whole town thinks that Drew had something to do with her murder. And he is on a track to try to prove that he didn't do anything, and he's trying to save Lola from wherever Lola's at. This was wild, and if you love thrillers, I think you should definitely read this one. Number 7 is also Devney Perry. Are we surprised? Probably not. So this one is Blitz. So this is about Jennison and Torin. She's a college volleyball athlete, and then he is one of the coaches for the college football team. This is a relationship that is forbidden. This is the second in the Wildcat series. So it's kind of on the same timeline as the first one. So I think if you're going to read this one, you should read the first one because they are on the same timeline, which I actually really enjoyed. And I don't know if I've read. So I really enjoyed that one. And then number 6 is Wild for You by Kristen Proby. So this is about Remington and Aaron. Remington, or Rem, is a single dad that is looking for help with a nanny. And Aaron has a job at the coffee shop, but she actually has some car trouble, so she does need a second job to kind of get her car fixed. So she is part-time nanny. So she's the nanny, but some secrets are exposed, and they are kind of on the brink of a relationship, but you kind of have to figure out if the secrets that come about are going to ruin the relationship or if they kind of move past it. Also a small town. And then number 5 is Cash by Jessica Peterson. This one is also a small town, but it's enemies to lovers, which I love enemies to lovers. Cowboy, I love them. So it's about Molly and Cash. So Molly had been estranged from her dad for a long time. And she has her own business for cowgirl boots, things like that. And her father dies and leaves her an inheritance. But in order for her to get the inheritance, she also gets the ranch. And she has to manage that ranch for a year before she's actually able to get her inheritance, which she needs because her business is struggling. And then Cash is very upset that he didn't actually get the ranch because he's the foreman. He's always been there for Molly's dad. And he's just so upset that he didn't get the opportunity to get the ranch. So obviously he does not like her, vice versa. They kind of go through it, but they're stuck with each other for a year. I just love a grumpy cowboy, enemies to lover, small town is my vibe. Number 4 is another Devney Perry book, and it is Sable Peak, which is the 5th book in the Eden series. There are a couple like novellas from the Eden series, but this is the true number 5 book. Which Indigo Ridge, which is number 1, is one of my favorite books. I've reread it. I've gifted it to other people. It's just such a good book. All of them have been, but Indigo Ridge definitely is my favorite. But Sable Peak was such a good wrap up to the series. It's about Vera and Matteo. Vera has liked Matteo from a distance, but she doesn't feel like he reciprocates. He hasn't given her any indication that he likes her. And at the end of the last book, we find out that actually Matteo has a child. Um, so we kind of go through that of him learning how to be a dad, kind of their relationship. She has a bad past, kind of things like that. And then you just kind of wrap up the whole series. And I really, really enjoyed it. Number 3 is Seeing Red by Bailey Hannah, which is a new author for me last year. So this is number 2 in the Wells Ranch series. So this is about Cassidy and Chase, who goes by Red, who has always been the bad boy of the town. And Cassidy just wants one night to get back to her ex, just one night. And that one night leads to, you guessed it, pregnancy. So you kind of go through the town where, or not the town, but like the story of the town essentially, and kind of how Cassie is the good girl, Chase is the bad guy, and kind of how that goes. Chase has an alcoholic father, and just kind of this whole thing. And it's just such a cool story to see them blossom together. But definitely look up trigger warnings for that one. And then number 2 is Alive and Wells by Bailey Hannah. It's the same series, but this is the first one. And I like the first one more than the second one. Obviously, not by much because they're number 2 and number 3. So this is about Cicely getting away from her abusive husband, ex-husband. She had been talking to this woman that would help her, or has always told her that she would help her get away and that there's a space for her. So Cicely one night leaves her husband and goes to this ranch, right? And then there's Austin, grumpy cowboy. We're not surprised. He doesn't understand why she's there because she didn't give up like her past. The woman that's helping her doesn't give up her past. So he just doesn't understand why she's here to begin with. And then she's there longer than he anticipates, and just this whole thing. And the ending is chef's kiss. I really enjoyed it. I actually want to get a tattoo for this book. And then also just look up the trigger warnings for this one as well. Number 1 of my 2024 reads is Empire of Storms, Tower of Dawn, and then Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas. I couldn't choose between the 3, so I make the rules, so I just put them all together. I'm not going to go over kind of what these books are because if you know what Throne of Glass is, it's just I don't feel justice of giving an explanation for 3 books. But when I first started Throne of Glass, I truly did not think I was going to like it. I think it took me 2 months to read the first book and I kind of just put it down. But after seeing everybody loving Throne of Glass, I was like, I'll just give the second book a try. And then I kind of went through them at the end of, I think I started Throne of Glass in 2023. So I kind of finished it up in 2024. And I actually liked Tower of Dawn more than Empire of Storms, which I think is backwards to what most people enjoy. And I did do the tandem read which I personally loved. I kind of liked going back and forth between the two. It was hard to annotate at first, like where I needed to go. And then Kingdom of Ash just like rips your heart out. It really truly rips your heart out. And I think I was listening to it and reading it at the same time, and I was just like sobbing on my couch when I wrapped it up. Um, I don't know, it's just such a good series. And I also want to get a tattoo for that series as well. So that was my 2024 top 10 reads. Let me know what your top 10 reads are below, and if I should read any of them in 2025. I will be posting a what I want to read in 2025. Some of them are new releases, and then some of them have just been released, and I just haven't had a chance to read them. So be sure to check that out. But if you do have any comments or anything, please leave them down below. So be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.